welcome to a quick live stream. Man, I feel like out of practice with this, man. I've not done a live stream, or I haven't recorded podcasts in a while. We've been so heads down working on the business and the platform and the clients that
I did the same thing. I recorded a podcast with Flip the other day, and I was just like, I feel like I don't even know what I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly. But we're here, so let's screw it up together. All right. So, no, but yeah, we've been chopping it up. I see some folks hopping on. Welcome. And this is going to be a quick down and dirty. Jay, I'll turn it over to you in a second, but you put together this challenge. Look, there's challenges for days, and I don't think that we're really trying to like keep up with the Joneses on this, other than we saw an opportunity. I think that Jay's put together this challenge that I think's reasonable, attainable, and get you thinking, get you moving, but really designed to kind of level up the energy, get you so I guess that's why we're here. So what the heck are you doing, Jay?
What is this 28-day E3 challenge? Well, it's the energy endurance enhancer. That sounds like a mouthful. And my friend mentioned that sounds like a commercial you would need for some other medical
blue pills
issue you're having. I'm like, oh, and the Flip's like, why don't we call it the E3 challenge? I'm like, that sounds kind of cool, right? But in my own, I like challenges. I'm an endurance athlete like you are. I love to train for something or have a challenge to pursue. And there's a variety of challenges out there. But in the current season in my life of where I'm at, I needed something a little bit different, and I want something that's scalable for people. And hey, you know how I roll. I love to invite people to suffer with me. So how can I get people to join me? How can we do this in a manner where it's scalable to everyone? I like the choose your own adventure style of challenges that are out there. So I spitballed it with Lacey, my lovely wife, who's a graphic designer, and we came up with this little challenge. And and so we put it together. And it's sponsored by the Lions Guide. If you're confused, so it's the Do Hard Things 28-day E3 challenge. Do Hard Things is my apparel brand, and it's because I'm also a coach with the Lions Guide, but it's sponsored by the Lions Guide. And it's a simple, just a 28-day challenge that's a choose your own adventure where there's some points. So there'll be like a leaderboard, and you can put in as much as you want, but the whole purpose of it is designed to incorporate sustained habits that will enhance your energy. So that's the bottom line of what it is.
Yeah. So real quick, so people that maybe haven't heard of it before, because Do Hard Things Apparel, they do the Lions Guide gear. They've got their own brand of some awesome, cool stuff. And it's like, to me, like even working with Lacey, who put together like the Lions Guide gear stuff, it's Do Hard Things does that. Like Do Hard Things Apparel is doing that. So if you guys have seen that, it looks awesome. Where do people find like your Do Hard Things gear at?
Go to www.dohardthingsnation.com.
Yeah. And so you got cool stuff. Like I know you got some favorites. You got like the classic Do Hard Things shirts, and you got, go ruck yourself. Like it's different. Like, it's awesome gear. Like, and it's, to me, it's I feel like one of the things I wanted on the Lions Guide gear, working with Lacey as she put that brand together, just, wear your courage on your sleeve. And I think that's what the Do Hard Things is like. Look, man, like if this is going to be you, right? If you want to like transition to Do Hard Things, like show it, like mean it, like show the world. In fact, a lot of like, honestly, just kind of relating, just probably being TMI, but like a lot of tattoos I get like are actually me going, hey man, like my first tattoo is Jody's name on my shoulder. Now, is that classic, like military, 18-year-old guy first tattoo, get his, girlfriend's name on his shoulder? Yeah. In fact, when I got that done, I remember the tattoo artist goes, what do you want? And I go, yeah, I want my fiance's name on my shoulder. He goes, can I show you something? And it was a Navy guy. It was like a cartoon. It was a Navy guy sitting there getting like, it was like a list of names down his arm of women, and they were scratched. And then he was putting the new one in there. I was like, man, just put it on there. But back to the point, like wear your courage on the sleeve, wear who you're trying to be, like be aspirational. And if you want to, like, we know this about goals, right? Like the probability of success of a goal from just saying it versus writing it down versus telling somebody, right? And I feel like Do Hard Things, the stuff Lacey's putting together for Lions Guide, for the Lions Guide gear store, is all about like hey man, put it on. Like if this is who you're going to be, like go wear it on your sleeve. Go, put that S on your chest, so to speak.
Clothing makes you feel like we have emotion tied in with our clothing. And when I wear this, it feels like, okay, I'm ready to go to battle, right? I got my Lions Guide logo. I got my Do Hard Things shirt. Like I'm on my A game today. And I've had people it's been remarkable and very humbling. I've had people like they had a loss and they're like, you know what? I got to go. I have to have the courage to get through this funeral today. And hey, oh, by the way, I'm wearing my Do Hard Things shirt underneath, my dress today. And I'm like, that is humbling, but there's something to that. And it's very powerful. And that's what I love about what Lacey does. Her designs, it's clothing that has meaning, and it's usually tied with courageous people doing epic things. Like she does the clothing line for the Sapper Leader course, which is one of the Army's premier schools. She's doing Lions Guide now, a lot of races and things like that. So it's all stuff that has meaning of people like having courage and facing fear and doing like hard things.
Yeah.
What I love about all of the designs that she puts together.
So yeah, check that out. DoHardNations.com.
DoHardThingsNation.com.
DoHardThingsNation.com and gear.lionsguide.com. Check them out. See what the Do Hard Things apparel is all about, what they've been putting together. And yeah, here we are. So we got a Do Hard Things challenge, sponsored by Lions Guide. You're leading the charge on this. So what are you trying to get accomplished? Like someone who would take this on, what are they trying to get done?
So we talk about it all the time, right? High performance is demanding. If you're a leader, it's demanding. And hey, look, over the holidays, maybe you've gained some weight. Maybe we're getting back into the work cycle. And have you ever been there where you've worked all day and you get home at night, you just don't have the energy to spend time with family or do the hobbies? Maybe you feel distracted and unfocused. You've got some bad habits that have creeped into your life a little bit. Maybe we just need to amplify our energy. Maybe, you just you want to be a better role model for those that you lead, maybe your family, right? So sometimes we just need to incorporate, there's things that we know that we need to be doing that we're not doing. And all of the things that we've identified in this are things that you should be doing. And what I love about this is it's scalable and choose your own adventure. And look, there's all sorts of reasons not to do it. Bad timing, winter, holidays, responsibilities, but there's no judgment here. This is the time to get after it and make a marked improvement in your life. So we identified things that were, we talk about high performance to amplify your energy, the things that to be doing to improve your overall health and wellness and your energy. So it's not just, yes, diet and exercise are critical components, but there's a few additional components. And if you want, I can kind of run through those real quick.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. So the first thing is, so you have daily tasks that you have to complete, and there's a point system. You get 1, 2, or 3 points. And unlike other challenges, like the one there's this big popular 75 challenge that comes to mind. If you miss one of those things, you have to start over. Well, that was one of the things I didn't like, because people would be like, I'm 45 days into this thing. I missed this simple task and now I'm just done with it. And then they go back to their own habits. I want it to be like a competition style. And if you have a bad day, that's okay. And maybe you can make up the points later. So the first thing that we're going to focus on is gratitude. And like people are like, well, gratitude, why? How does that amplify your energy? But science has proven that grateful people sleep better. They're overall healthier. They have better relationships, and increases happiness, and it will increase your energy. So you get 1 point for just simply writing down 3 things or three people that you're grateful for. And I just want you to marinate on that in the morning. And it doesn't take very long, but just the simple act of being grateful. Or it could be before you go to bed, because if you do it before you go to bed, it helps you sleep better. Science has proven that. So you get 1 point for that. Just simply write down 3 things that you're grateful for, people that you're grateful for. You get 2 points if you do that, and then you do a sign of appreciation for somebody. So just, could be telling someone that you appreciate them, a text, a letter, whatever you feel. I want to keep it simple. So as long as you're doing, and this is an honor-based system, as long as you're having the intention of going out of your way and showing appreciation to someone, then that counts as 2 points. If you do both of those things, plus a random act of kindness for somebody, could be, buying a coffee, holding the door, something where you go out of the way for someone else, putting some kindness out there without any reciprocal expectation of return, then that's a random act of kindness. You get 3 points. You score that for the day. That's gratitude. The next area would be, it's going to be movement. So exercise. You get to choose your own adventure of what exercise is. It could be simply walking, could be yoga, high intensity, getting on the Peloton, could be weightlifting, whatever. But there's a 20-minute block, 40-minute block, 60-minute blocks of continuous movement, 1, 2, or 3 points. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Would it be helpful? Is that doc that you sent me the latest one, the worksheet? I can pop it up here.
It's not the latest, but yeah, it probably would be helpful, but it's pretty close to it. Well, yeah, the cover page should be good. Yes. The score sheet had slightly changed. So, but we'll get that out. Yeah. So movement, there you go. So yeah, that probably helped out a lot. So 20 minutes of continuous movement. So say, for example, you have the intention of doing 60 minutes in the morning and you start working out, you get a phone call, you got to drop everything at 25 minutes. You get 1 point. If you want to get that 60 minutes, you got to go back later in the day and do the 60 minutes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So continuous movement. I don't care if it's indoors, outdoors, doesn't matter. Just moving the body. So, and you get to choose your own adventure what that workout is. The next one's hydration. So we got a men's and a women's, because men and women are biologically just a little bit different. So for the men, 3 liters of water, 4 liters of water, 5 liters of water, respectively. Women, 2, 3, 4. The only thing that you can add a little bit of salt because that helps you with hydration, and you can add fruit with like a water infuser or infuser, something like that. But no caffeine, no sugar. That doesn't count. You can drink those things, but it doesn't count toward your daily water intake. Yeah. And the whole purpose of the water is to help you hydrate. There's so many health benefits, and we're chronically dehydrated. So any questions on the water?
No. And I guess that's it, right? The benefits of it, one, you basically put in intentionality, right? So you can like add some taste to your water, but you're not going, I drank a 2-liter thing of soda and that's sugar water. So that's got to count, right?
There's water in my coffee, right? But it doesn't count because it's a hydrant. It defeats the purpose. Now I can drink the coffee in the morning. It just doesn't count toward my daily intake. Cool. So, and at the end of the day, it's about building sustainable, healthy habits.
Yeah. And the habit of drinking water, I mean, this has been a long time for me. I think it really helps. But I'm a coffee water only. And that's pretty much like the only 2 things I drink,
Yeah. Coffee, water, beer for me. So
and chia seeds.
Oh yeah. I like chia seeds. It's good. So the hydration is simple. So, 3 liters, 4 liters, 5 liters for men, 2, 3, 4 for women. So as far as growth, one of my favorite quotes, Abraham Lincoln, if I had 6 hours to chop down a tree, I'd spend 4 hours sharpening my axe. Right. And we need to do something every day where we're growing. And I don't care what it is. Maybe it's a course you're enrolled in, an audio book, a podcast. Maybe it's just simply reading, but something where you're doing something where you're growing. Maybe it's your own self-development, journaling, coming to a Lions Guide lecture, whatever that is, that counts. So 20 minutes, 25 minutes, or 30 minutes, respectively. I think it's important that we do that. It's been a foundational habit that's changed the trajectory of my life by doing that daily reading. And so that's why that's in there, and that will give you energy because you'll be smarter, right?
Well, look, sorry, anyone who thinks this is too crude, but I'm going to throw a quote out there. I heard like I saw it somewhere and I was like, yeah. I mean, they said like reading is masturbation for the mind. Right. And I would say it does, like, it just gets things going. Like it turns the gears, man. And I was, so as far as this is concerned, does background tasking this count, or is the intention to be like intentional? This is a foreground task, meaning you're reading, you're sitting there listening intently for 20 minutes. What do you?
Yeah. So the way I was looking at this, I was talking to Flip about this. Like, I want you to dedicate time specifically for this, but I understand that we have busy lives. So if you're driving to work and you just want to turn on a podcast, I'm okay with that, because if you add up the time on this, I don't want people to not participate because of the timing. And this is just as much of a time management challenge as it is anything else. So I'm okay with it being on in the background, but I would just encourage you to, if you want to get more out of it, be intentional about it.
Right.
So
yeah, and that's what I was hoping you would say, right? Is just to make that point, right? Like why we're doing these things. If you just like, and I'll just speak from my own experience. I've learned that listening to a podcast as a background task, I don't get like Huberman. You listen to some Huberman stuff, right? Huberman.
I don't.
Huberman. He's got a really good science-based podcast on performance stuff, right? And I listen to him intentionally to learn about like how sugar affects my diet, how salt needs to come in, how to improve my endurance, like all the things. And he's a Stanford professor, and he does a really great show on those things. But I don't get what I need out of it if I'm listening to that while I'm working out. I need to like stop and listen to it, so I literally need to take notes. They're collegiate level lectures, so I'm not going to be working out and getting what I need out of it. And so again, back to the integrity of the intention of this is like the time-based stuff. And if you have to, but it would be highly encouraged, I think, to like make this your foreground task, right? Like you're sitting there reading, you're sitting there listening, whatever the case may be, to make that your foreground task, because you'll get so much more out of it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because you could listen to, I mean, you just music, but you'll still get nuggets of information, right? I would
Yes.
prefer you to be focused if you can incorporate that. But even as a background, I'm okay. As long as you're being intentional about it and trying, then that's good enough. Because
Yeah.
we're busy. We're busy professionals and
Yeah.
we have lives. And to make all this work, I don't want someone to not participate because like, I just can't do it because of timing. Something is better than nothing, and you can batch some of these things together.
Yeah. And I guess, even listening to books, like when I run, I just, again, will go, hey, my mind's wandering. Like I was good for the first 45 minutes and now
Yeah.
I'm not even listening. So I'll kind of rewind it back to where I remember listening and then switch to something else. Just to, again, not to lose. Cause I feel like you lose, like you check the box that you listened to it or whatever, but you didn't get everything out of it. So something, just throw that out there for people to be mindful of.
Yeah. I mean, there's preferred methods, and then there's some methods that are better, but as long as you're having the intention of growing, that's better than nothing.
Yeah. 100%.
So, all right. So the next one is meditation. There's all sorts of different forms of meditation. And this is one where this is kind of a difficult one for me personally. To sustain, I'll do meditation consistently for a bit. And then I'm like, but I know that when I'm doing the meditation, my life is so much better. And so I want to incorporate this because it's the stillness of mind is really good for us. That's where usually I will have I'll solve a problem, or I'll just have an epiphany of some kind. I feel like I'm less stressed. I have less negative emotions. I feel more in control when I do it. And so there's so much science behind the power of meditation, and there's so many different forms of meditation that are out there. So you get to choose your own type of meditation, whether it be guided, mantra, focus, spiritual. There's a great there's an app called Buddhify that I really like, and you can meditate while you're doing daily tasks. Like there's one where they have meditations for while you drive. So it's not like you're closing your eyes and breathing, right? Because that would be dangerous. But it's like, okay, turn the radio down. You're going to listen to your car. And it's like a guided meditation while you're driving. That counts. I would prefer you to sit in silence. Like I said, there's the best way, but any way that you get your form of meditation in, I'm okay with that. Just take the time to be intentional with meditation. And so you get 1 point for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you get 2, 20 minutes, 3 points.
Yeah. And again, just to co-sign the value of it, what are you solving for by doing this is controlling that monkey mind, right? Mm-hmm. Like I always try to remind people that meditation is referred to often as a practice, right? What do you like? Just like you practice a sport or practice a skill, you're practicing your mindfulness. You're practicing your ability to control where your mind's at, where your focus is, so whether that's internal, external, whatever. And that's what it is. So it's helping you practice controlling that monkey mind of yours, or you can't get focused, or you're scatterbrained, or you're just not being present. This is, again, dedicated, intentional time to practice getting better at that. And you'll see once you go through it, you'll find yourself, you're needing to be intentional about something, and you'll find yourself wandering, but you can pull yourself back, because that's what you're spending your time doing in a meditation. You're pulling yourself back to your focal point. So it's really good stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. Very powerful stuff. And it's one of those things. It's easy to do, but it's also easier not to do. So we just don't do it.
Yeah.
But my life is definitely better when I'm in the rhythm of doing it. And there's all sorts of different forms. Choose your own adventure on that. Experiment, try different things, find out what works for you. But that's the intention, a minimum 10 minutes.
Awesome.
All right. Next one, recharge. Now this one's going to be a hard one for me. And there's a lot of people out there. You got the 4 a.m. club, and like it's like sleep is a crutch. And I've been in the Army for the last 27 years. And like, we just boast about how sleep deprived we are and how much we get done. And it's a societal thing that I think it's kind of toxic.
Yeah.
And I noticed as I've grown older, I require a little bit more sleep. I'm better when I sleep. And so this one, and I don't know of any challenges out there that really focus on sleep. We all know that we need to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep, but we don't always do it well. And so how this one works is, look, I know some people have a difficult time going to sleep. I know some people wake up in the middle of the night. I don't care about that. The intention is, have you identified a bedtime, and are you intentional? Like, you're sleeping, you're not on your phone, you're not watching TV, you're closing your eyes, you're trying to get to sleep. Did you do that for 7 hours, 8 hours, or 9 hours? And you get 1, 2, or 3 points respectively. For me, it's going to be probably a struggle. This is going to be this is why I like doing triathlon, right? There's always like one event where it's like you struggle. This will be probably my struggle, but I really want to strive. Like, it's going to be difficult. I don't know when I'm going to get the 9 hours of sleep. I don't even know if I can physically do that anymore, but 7 or 8 hours, I think, is going to be my personal challenge. What do you think about sleep?
Yeah, I love it. And I think, and maybe to help with that, is there, like you did with the the water or whatever, where like the intentionality of, maybe you sleep for 7 hours, but you have a dedicated 2 other hours that are to recharge, right? To like break, to go enjoy time with your family, like a sit down present dinner, not on your phone. Because even those things are recharging, right? And they're I think an aspect that, again, we can ignore. Like, we can hustle culture ourselves out of those things that recharge us, because we feel like they're wrong. Like, I shouldn't be going out to dinner. There's work to do and whatever. So maybe a consolation there is, you've got 7, 8, or 9 hours of intentional recharge time. Like, and that's a combination of sleep. Maybe you do all of it as sleep, or maybe if you feel like, I'm a 7-hour guy. Why I bring this up, right? Because I'll be a 1-pointer on this all day, but I could make time to have recharge elements in my day to get that 8 hour or
So
whatever.
I'll just spitball that one, and we'll clean that one up before we launch. I like that. It would have to be something like no screens, no screens, intentional, maybe nap time, or just like you said, downtime with the family, going for a walk with something where there's it has to be, you can't be doing an energy draining activity like doing your email, anything to do with the screen. Because that's really one of our fundamental toxic habits that we have right now.
Yeah, and that's why I thought just like a quality engagement, right? Quality present engagement is a form of recharge to me. Like, I know, man, I love, like, even chopping this up with you for 30 minutes here. Like, I'm going to come out of this like fired up, right? And not saying that this would be it, but I'm trying to make the point that intentional engagement time with the intention of that, like, helps me. It helps energize me. But I also just want to point out, as far as sleep, one of the big things people miss is like the consistency. And so I'm really glad that you put this on here, which is when you go to bed, when you wake up consistently, just to get that circadian rhythm, teach your body how you're going to operate. And if you stay consistent with that, that too is a game changer. So I just want to acknowledge and, show some appreciation for you kind of putting that in here, because I think that's something that people miss. And I'm sure we'll talk about it over the weeks to come.
This priding ourselves of our sleep deprivation, wearing it as a badge of honor, I think is just toxic. I've seen the impacts of that in the military, and I don't like it. I know when I'm sleep deprived, I'm irritable. I'm not making the best decisions. I can be an ass. I don't like it. And by going and recharging and just recharging the batteries, it just feels so much better. And I just think it's something that I really wanted to incorporate that as far as health and wellness, because I don't know of any other challenge. It's like one of those things that we know that we need to do, but we just don't do it. And this has to be in here.
Yep. Consistency is key. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'll spitball if you don't, we'll have to do that to make up. Cause I know for some people you're just not going to get it 7 hours. Right. So that might be something that we'll incorporate that, and I'll have an update on that one.
Yeah. I'm definitely not going to get 9, but just personally using myself as an example, I love the accountability to staying consistent with my 9 to 4, which is my target sleep wake time. So I know it would be a stretch for me to try to make 2 more hours out of that, but I'd love the idea of saying intentional. I could win further by having 2 more.
Yeah. So we got an hour of board game night with the kids, no screens.
Yeah.
Cool with that. Or, hey,
that's
you get a 20-minute power nap, and you add that. That works for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Those are awesome.
It meets the intention.
Yep.
All right. Next one, fuel. Hey, look, you choose your own. There's so many diets out there, and I don't like the term diet, which is why I called this fuel. Food is fuel. And I think diet, like this deprivation, like there's a lot of really good diets out there where you're not depriving yourself. You might be depriving yourself of the sweets. I just want you to follow a good nutrition plan. Find something that works for you and stick with it. You get 1 point for just simply sticking with it, no cheating. Okay. And then 2 points if you withhold the alcohol or mind altering drugs that are out there, anything that's going to, you know, we want to, I want you to be clear of mind as much as possible. And I like to drink, but I also know that the drinking is a kind of a bad habit. And, I like and one thing, there's another popular challenge where it's like, well, you don't drink, but you could smoke marijuana. I'm like, well, that doesn't meet the intention of what we're trying to do here. So I just want you to have good fueling habits. So.
Look, man, you are what you eat. You are what you consume. Probably the best analogy I saw of that is like, if you think about the nutrients a plant has in its soil and how is that plant going to grow, right? If you put a plant in 25% soil and 75% sand, or you put it in, 75% soil and 25% sand, and you kind of grew on both, like due to the quality of what that plant is taking in, how do you think it's going to turn out? And we are the same way. Like what we put into ourselves is how we are going to fruit, if you will. So it's important. Man, the only thing I could ever tell people at this is one, as far as diet and nutrition, as far as especially people who want to lose weight, like you mentioned the 5-pound Christmas. Diet's 80% of it. That's how you got here, right? So you put on 5 pounds over holiday. Well, how did that happen? It's because of what you're eating, number one. So we kind of just fast forward that into, it's, as far as losing weight's concerned, it's 80% of its diet. The exercise element of it is an accelerant, right? Like you're burning calories in addition to taking in quality calories. And I guess the one thing here is like, you don't really appreciate it until you eat well.
Yeah.
And then don't. Right. Right now you're like swimming in suck, and maybe you don't realize how good you could feel because it's just your norm. But once you eat well and for a few weeks, a month or whatever, and then you have that double quarter pounder with cheese and notice how you feel after, that's when you really appreciate it.
Well, your body is a furnace and it's burning like a wood burning furnace. And if you put different kinds of wood in it, it burns at a different rate. So you got your glucose, your sugars, it's like kindling. It burns up really quick. We want a good solid fire, because what happens if you just throw a bunch of kindling in it flames up, you get that sugar high, and then you're like, then that flame goes down. Well, if you put a good log, like fats, protein that's going to burn for a long time, and you do that consistently, you get a nice, consistent roaring fire. That's how your body operates. And sometimes we forget how good we can feel. And it's all about the fuel.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And it's again, I think it's just something you and I this is the curse of knowledge for us, right? Like we live this stuff, we know it, but I'm just going to co-sign the fact that a lot of people just don't always think like that. They just think food's food. Those crackers are food.
Calories, just the simple calories, right? There's calories and then there's the scale, and that's the only metrics that they use. It's not. There's more out there, and food can be incredibly complicated. I like to keep it simple, but just eat healthy. Choose a good diet that's sustainable for you, and stick with it. It's
Yeah. Cool. So what are we doing with all this as far as
there's one more thing, and it'll be on the newer sheet, but you get 3 points for checking in. So you got to check in on your favorite social media platform and just you get 3 points for this. There's 3 hashtags. You take a photo of yourself doing one of these things, and the hashtag is E3 challenge, do hard things, the hashtag Lions Guide. And those are you get 3 points for that, because a big part of these challenges is about community. And when you log into your social media and you click on one of those hashtags, you see a bunch of other people, or especially when you're having a bad day, it will inspire you to take some action. Yeah. And so we really want to encourage people to use the hashtag so you can track your own progress, see what other people are doing, and maybe inspire someone else to take some action. Because we all know that there's so much distraction out there, and there's so many things that are negative. These challenges and motivations inspire other people to take action.
I freaking love that. See, that's new to me.
That's new.
That's new. And I freaking love it, man. It's because, the power of influence, right? Like setting an example, like your actions are either enabling or given permission, right? You're either enabling someone up to level up just like you are, or you're giving permission to someone to stay mediocre just like you are, right? And I know that's a bitter pill and a tough truth, but man, I don't think people understand enough how powerful their influence is. And when you're doing hard things, doing the right things, people are watching, and you will be enabling them to do well for themselves too. So that's awesome one, man. I really like that.
Absolutely. So, yeah, our intent is just to get people moving and grooving, hit their highest potential, get that energy back, get that energy and endurance back, and develop sustainable, disciplined habits that'll improve their life so you can be, to achieve the things that you need to achieve and be the role model that you know that you need to be.
Yeah.
And so that's what it's all about.
I love it. I love it. And the sheet that you'll have available will have like a little checklist for you if you want to just
Yeah,
this
you got
off.
that, and you got the score sheet. There's an updated score sheet that tracks your misses as well. And so this is an honor system. You track your own score, and then you'll email it to me by midnight on Sunday. I'll tabulate them on Monday, and we'll have a leaderboard, and we're going to have some categories for people. We'll have some swag to give out, and so we'll have the probably top male, top female. And then if you do the minimum amount just by participating in it and get X amount of points, we'll have a drawing as well for people. So there'll be some prizes out there for people. And like I said, just a way to get the body moving, enhance that energy, and get that tribe and community support.
Yeah, what I love about this is the ROI on it, man. These are simple things, man. Simple things with some intention. You work them in, they're going to pay some good dividends, as far as how you're feeling, how you're conducting yourself, how you're getting through the day, the stuff that you're getting accomplished. So, yeah, man, hats off to you, man. I love it. I'm looking forward to jumping into this thing with the community, and yeah, it's freaking awesome.
Lacey did a really cool job putting this together. It looks pretty cool. And yeah, we'll see. I'm excited to kick this first round off and see how it goes.
Yeah. So where do we go from here? We got a session next Tuesday. People can register for. So we're going to go through this as an interactive session with anyone who wants to sign up. There's an open session. If you go to allianceguide.com, there's a link at the top, open sessions. You can go in there, register for next Tuesday, 2 p.m. We're going to go through this and an actual high performance coaching session with everyone who signs up. Be in a good way, right? Like, so we're talking to you about it right here, but the power of these sessions is to be a part of a group. We're all rowing in the same direction, and challenge and Jay will facilitate helping you find your answers to success in this process and going through it. So I'm looking forward to that. And then you guys will be able to access the sheet to download. And what else?
That's the power of like group coaching, is getting like-minded people together. No BS, no judgment, no excuses, and kind of maybe be a little bit vulnerable. It's a safe space. I don't really like using that term, but it really generally it is. It's a place where you can let your armor down a little bit and be like, hey, this is where I'm struggling. And people often, every time, I mean, we're just facilitators. Yeah, we've got a lot of personal development knowledge, but I always learn from the people that are there. Like, someone's going to have a good resource, a good idea that, I'm going to put that in my toolkit and try it, And that's why connecting with other like-minded people is important. Only less than 10% of people engage in personal growth and development. Like, it's a sea of just, I'm going to be harsh when I say a sea of mediocrity out there. And it's good to connect with other like-minded people, hard-charging people that are wanting to get after it. And that's what I love about these sessions.
And look, anybody listening needs to hear this. This is what I'm going to tell you. You might, any reluctance comes from your fear of thinking that, like, we all at times think we suck, right? And you might think, let's use a different analogy. Like, you think, well, I don't want to go to the gym because I don't want people looking at me because I'm overweight. Well, like, say that back slowly, right? You don't want to do the right thing because you're afraid that people are going to judge you, but it's the right thing. And this is where kind of my lesson in courage comes in all the time. Like, courage is a virtue. What does that mean? Courage is about doing the right thing despite your fears, doing the good, the greater good, right? So taking care of yourself is the greater good. But I'm here to tell you, everyone that's ever come into groups with us, they all say the same thing. I love knowing that other people are working on the same stuff that I'm working on. So you might hear like, oh no, group, be vulnerable, safe space. Oh no, I don't want to do, like, trust me, like, You'll love it because everyone loves the fact that they're not alone. You're not alone. We all have our own struggles, different levels, different devils, different times. But man, when you get in a room and you start chopping this stuff up with a new team, new tribe with some camaraderie, that in itself is an energy, booster. It is for me. Like every session we get on in these weeks, I come out like fired up, man. Yeah. So do yourself a favor, come check it out.
Absolutely.
Good time.
Well, that's it. That's it. It's time to saddle up and get busy. Let's get to work.
Yeah.
A couple days to practice, get your mind right, get your body tight.
So we'll throw some links up in this post because this is going to be on the different platforms. We'll throw some links in there. If any other questions or trying to find it, certainly DM us, drop something in comments, go to the websites, dohardthingsnation.com, lionsguide.com. Go check them out. Get yourself some t-shirts or start checking in, submit your score, and you might just win one or two.
Absolutely.
Or more. So,
yeah. It's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to this. It's gonna be amazing. I definitely ready to get back on incorporate some of these habits I've been slacking on. So I'm encouraged. And I like I said, I love to invite people to suffer with me. So
Indeed. Cool, man. Well, anything else?
That's it, man. That's all I got.
All right, guys. Yeah. Anybody else wants anything? Like say we're full bore. We've got our Tuesday afternoon high performance development sessions going on. We got our leadership development sessions going on. If you want any more information about that, please hit us up. Submit a contact, DM, email, whatever. You reach me, Dale@lionsguide.com. Happy to answer any questions or see if anything's a good fit for you, or if we can help you any other way. Flip's got a great 2-day workshop live. If you got a team that you want to work on some leadership stuff with, we've got that available now. You'll see some promotional stuff on it, but we just finished wrapping that up over the holidays. So folks that you want to come in, do a 1 or 2 day offsite with your team, they'll level up your leadership. We can help you with that too. So that's it. That's all for now.
All right. We'll see you guys.
Cool. All right. We'll see you online.